Howdy Goons, we have a quickie while I'm working on my next bigger video. So Anbernic has done it again. They've announced another retro emulation handheld that looks just like another handheld made by one of the big corporations, which I have no problem with. I honestly love it. I love that about them. This time it's Sony getting some of that legally gray area love with the RG Vita. But before you get too excited, we now have two Anbernic handhelds that can't play what they were named or modeled after. Two isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice, and even more so in a row. The RG Vita, like the RGDS, is designed to not only be named after a target console, but look like the target console. In the past, Anbernic has done great with these. Their SP and GBA line all are great. And in the past, because of that, me and multiple YouTubers have recommended that you should get the retro handheld that looks the most like your target system that you want to emulate. Now we can't really do that. Want to play some GBA SP? Get one of the Anbernic SPs. Want to play Sega? Get the Sega looking thing. But twice now, Anbernic has released two handhelds that failed to do what they were advertising to do. So I'm wrong. Don't listen to that advice anymore. Don't get something that looks like what you want to play because it's not accurate anymore. And it's honestly a little irresponsible of them and is going to lead to some people buying it with expectations and not getting what they want, which is going to result in upset customers. And there is not enough of us out there that they should be burning any bridges at all. But they aren't just saying that these handhelds can play these games, but they're also hinting at it with their design. The RGDS can technically play DS if you don't mind using an out-of-date emulator that'll never get updated that's been entirely abandoned. But that's still not as bad as the RG Vita when it comes to playing PS Vita. Thanks to tests from Retro Game Core, we can see that it doesn't even really play PS Vita games. PS Vita emulation isn't quite good yet. It is getting better, but it's not anything that we should be shooting for right now. That's saying a lot because even the PS Vita couldn't run its own games well. It just came out a little too early. It was the Switch before the Switch, and as such, it underperformed because even the Switch wasn't that good at doing the Switch thing because a lot of Switch games did not run at full frame rates either. So an even earlier version of that is of course not going to do well either. But publishers didn't want to make good ports or demake style ones like that we did in the past for like the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance. So a lot of Vita games are just very low frame rates. Very poorly performing ports of home console games. Sony even put out a few of them that are first party games that are really bad ports, like the Ratchet & Clank games. They did not run well at all. And I have a Vita, so I can confirm that. So in short, the bar was very low, beneath the floorboards even, but we just aren't there yet. So it's no wonder we aren't there yet with a device looking to be in the sub 100 category because there's much more expensive devices that can't even do it. What I will say is this might be the start of a trend and I hope that it isn't the case. Anbernic is usually my go-to recommendation for retro handhelds and I don't want that to change. The Pocket Air Mini was pretty good, but Ioneo's a little unreliable. And backer issues aside, it's still a pretty good handheld. It's just, should the Vita be sub 100, then I can say it's a very competitive option to the PAM and the Nimzy Air X. But did it have to look like a Vita to do this? I don't think so. I feel like that's misleading or false advertisement. People who aren't as informed as those of us who live and breathe this stuff are going to get burned by this. That may alter their opinion of this hobby and Anbernic as a whole, and there's not enough of us buying these things that we can really afford for the hobby to lose any customers. Considering Anbernic is one of the market leaders, it makes the whole hobby look bad when marketing is misleading like this. This is why I got on Retroid so bad in the past for the RP3 Plus and how they were lying about which games it could play. But for the majority of us, nothing has changed. The best Vita is still a hacked Vita. As a bonus, I'm not one to whine about whether things are OLED or not. I actually don't really care. But it is funny to me that the original Vita was OLED a decade ago and the clones can't play its games or have an OLED screen. I just don't like the direction that Anbernic is starting to move towards, and I hope that this isn't the start of a new trend. Hopefully this is just some bumps in the road, but I wonder why even making this a Vita clone is even necessary. Being sub 100 and playing light GameCube and PS2 is already very appealing. We saw that with the demand for the PAM and the Nimzy Air X. I knew that the PAM was getting something started, but this isn't the way that I imagined it was going to go. The PAM is harder to get, but it's hard to ignore the better performance compared to both of these systems. Though I haven't seen anything from the RG Vita Pro yet. Maybe it's much better. Also, both handhelds have the benefit of not being an Ioneo product, which is hard to recommend. As for whether I'll get one, really depends on the price. I'm almost done paying off my Switch 2 debt so I can get more handhelds. If this is sub 100, it falls into my budget domain, and something I'll probably check out. I skipped the RGDS because after I found out that it couldn't run Melon DS, I just did not have faith in it. I'm one of the people who really need Melon DS because I need retro achievements, and I'm not saying want, I'm saying need. I need retro achievements. But at the least, I think the RG Vita will be an upgrade for my wife who's using the RP3 Plus, and this seems a little better and looks a lot nicer. I don't think I care for it though, since it's 16:9 while being poor at running content that could be 16:9. It's really just for the PSP heads out there. I prefer a wider variety of systems though. The screen is huge though. Anyway, thanks for watching and thanks for the support lately. I just got monetized, so those ads that YouTube has been putting on my videos are finally paying me a little. I'll see you later, and bonus thanks to the supporters like Dragon Fanatic, Willie Pete, Linky, and AstroPixie YT. I'll see you later. I'm going to go eat a giant sandwich in one cartoonishly long bite, so I can't walk through doors unless I go sideways. Bye!